Welcome to another episode of projectiles. We want to take a quick look at an interesting part of projectiles, the angles of projection for which our range is equals to the maximum height h, our range r is equals to twice the maximum height, our range is equals to 3 times the maximum height, and our range is equals to 4 times the maximum height. Remember the angles of projection. So this is the formula for range, recall from our last video, formula for maximum height, and the graph for which we derived the range and the maximum height. So let's start with number 1. Range is equals to maximum height. So remember, this is u squared sine 2 theta all over g should be equals to u squared sine squared theta all over 2g. So we take out the common persons, g will go with g, u squared goes with u squared. So we are left with sine 2 theta is equals to, or let's cross these two to this side so that we have 2 sine 2 theta is equals to sine square theta. Now from trigonometry function, we can have that sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. So if we replace sine 2 theta with 2 sine theta cosine theta, here becomes 2 times 2, here becomes 4 sine theta cosine theta is equals to sine square theta. Remember that sine square theta is like saying sine theta times sine theta. So if we divide both sides by sine theta, we are going to have 4 cosine theta is equal to sine theta. Yes. And here we can divide both sides by cosine theta, so that 4 is equals to sine theta divided by cosine theta. And from your trigonometry, you should know that sine theta all over cos theta is tangent theta, tan theta. So for us to get theta itself, which is the angle that we are finding, theta becomes the tan inverse of 4. And the tan inverse of 4 is 75.96. So that means that at 75.96 degrees, our range is equals to the maximum height. That should be approximately 76 degrees. That's for the first case. Let's look at case 2. Let's look at case 2, where r is equals to 2h. Case 2, when r is equals to 2h. What's the angle? So remember u square, or we should leave the u square and the g since they are going to go out. So we are left with sine theta, sine 2 theta is equal to 2 times sine square theta all over 2. That's what is left there. So here, this would take this off, and we are left with sine 2 theta is equal to sine square theta. Remember, sine 2 theta we said is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So this will give us sine square theta is equals to sine square theta. Divide both sides by sine theta. We are going to be left with 2 cosine theta is equals to sine theta. 2 cosine theta is equals to sine theta. From here, remember 2 is now equals to sine theta divided by cosine theta. What we did at first, which is still tan theta, and theta is equals to tan inverse of 2, and the tan inverse of 2 should give us 63.43. 63.43. That's tan inverse of 2. And that means that should be approximately 63 degrees. So when at 63 degrees or 63.43 degrees, the range is twice the maximum height. The range of the projectile is twice the maximum height. Let's look at case 3. That is when r is equal to 3h. Remember, we leave the u square and the g because they are not necessary here. So we have sine 2 theta should be equal to 3 times. Remember, what is left here is sine square theta all over 2. So How do we remove this? This is 3 over 2, so if we bring it to this other side, it becomes 2 over 3 times sine 2 theta should give us sine square theta. So we change this guy 2 all over 3 into 2 sine 2 theta. Sorry, we change him to 2 sine theta cosine theta should be equal to sine square theta. Remember, this is now 4 over 3 sine theta, that's 2 times 2, 4, divided by 3. 4 over 3 sine theta cosine theta is equals to sine square theta. And we divide both sides by sine theta so that we have 4 over 3 cosine theta is equals to sine theta. And 4 over 3 is equals to sine theta divided by cosine theta, which will give us tan theta. And from here, theta now becomes tan inverse of 4 over 3. And the tan inverse of 4 over 3 will give us 53.13 degrees. And that should be approximately 53 degrees. So at 53.13 degrees, that's approximately 53 degrees. Our range is 3 times the maximum height. Our range will be 3 times the maximum height at 53 degrees. Let's go to the last one. When R is equal to 4H. When R is equal to 4H. So here, remember, for R we still use sine 2 theta. That's what is left. We have removed u square over g. So what is left on this other side now is 4 times what is left for h is sine square theta all over 2. So this would give us 1, 2. So if we divide both sides, we are going to have sine square theta, sine 2 theta is equals to sine square theta. So that if we change this to 2 sine theta cos theta, we are going to have half of 2 sine theta cosine theta is equals to sine square theta. Remember, this will take this off and we are left with sine theta cos theta is equals to sine square theta. We divide both sides by sine theta and we are left with cosine theta is equals to sine theta. We divide both sides by cosine theta rather, so that we have, if I divide this by cosine theta, divide this by cosine theta, I'm going to have this will give us 1 is equals to this divided by this will give us tangent theta. And we find the tan inverse, so that the tan inverse of 1 will give us 45 degrees. Remember, we said that 45 degrees is maximum range. So at maximum range, it's 4 times the maximum height. At 45 degrees, we have the maximum range, which is 4 times the maximum height. So at this point, you can take note of the following, what we have done. Like, comment, and let us know any problem you face, and also don't forget to share. Thank you very much.